You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Large majorities of black voters think Donald Trump's presidency has made things worse for people like them. The Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs research survey found that about 2/3 of Americans overall disapprove of how Donald Trump is handling race relations. 4% of African Americans surveyed said that Trump's actions have been good for African Americans in general, while 81% said he has made things worse. Among white Americans, roughly 1/3 said Trump's actions have been good for black Americans. Robert, what do you think about that?
Well, this is my question when we have these polls, because I feel like we have them every administration. Things have never been good for black folks in this country. I'm trying to understand this land of milk and honey that we're coming from, where everything just all of a sudden started getting worse. I think we have to look at America as a whole and understand that no one person, no one politician, no one individual is the cause for the racial the stagnation of race relations in this country.
Well, Robert,
down.
But I think there's a difference between someone saying, are things good or better?
Right.
And so, I mean, obviously, we can debate the word good, but the question still becomes, are things better or worse? And so, and that's, I think, also, what one is judging when you talk about Donald Trump.
Well, let's understand, we can probably find this exact same article from 2013 saying that race relations have gotten worse because white supremacists are motivated against having a black president in Barack Obama. We have to attack the system, not the individuals. The system that has been discriminatory and racist against black folks for the last 400 years. This one administration will come, it will go, the system will still remain.
Erica.
To be quite honest with you, it's something when you talk about systems and things getting good or better, and just thinking about when it is often said that when America has a cold, then Black America has the flu. So honestly, looking at that poll, by and large, when you look at the electorate, when you look at how we came out in droves and we vote and we continue to vote, that Black women are the most consistent voting bloc. It's almost kind of like, we told you. So I think that with these numbers are pretty consistent with how Black Americans ebb and flow with different administrations that come into power.
But it's not a phenomenon, and I think that's what Patillo was getting at in terms of this article specifically and this poll specifically. Trump hasn't done favors for anybody, really, except himself and those immediately surrounding him who will help him. He's a very self-serving individual. The racial attacks as of late have been, reportedly fueled by this presidency and his administration because they feel more emboldened. But that does not mean that the attacks are, something new. I think that's what Robert Patillo was getting at.
I would add also, kind of to Patillo's point, I agree with Roland that there's difference between good and better. But I think when you look at the facts, with this administration, I think there are a lot of conservatives. If Melick were here, he would argue about unemployment numbers. He would argue about, workforce participation. He would argue maybe some minuscule wage increases. And I would argue, of course, go back and say that black home ownership is at its lowest level since 1970. So I think to Patillo's point, I think that it is a mixed bag. There's, a lot of things that he's done symbolically, I think, that have hurt relations between African Americans and everyone else. But when we talk about the substantive issues, it's been a mixed bag like it's been under other administrations.
Right.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just 1 moment. All right, folks, you heard me talk a lot about marijuanastock.org. Why? Because I want to keep you informed of investment opportunities that make sense. We've all watched the growth of the cannabis industry. A recent report by New Frontier Data estimates the global cannabis market at more than $340 billion. We know that marijuana legalization is sweeping the country state by state. We also know that marijuana has a good cousin, the hemp plant, with a much higher concentration of CBD. That means hemp gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. That all changed with the 2018 Farm Bill, making it legal to grow hemp. Our friends at 420 Real Estate have come in with their business model, which is real simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. What 420 Real Estate has done is allowed this special offer for the Roland Martin Unfiltered family. That is, you can invest a minimum of $200. Before it was supposed to be $500, but they're allowing you to do it for $200. You can do for $200 up to $10,000. Again, there's a $340 billion industry that is still growing. You can participate with as little as $200. To invest, go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Get the game. Get the game now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.